Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Matthew Messina and welcome to Code Blue News. It's been a very eventful week for Holbrook High School, and we'll get into that later. And what's crazy is that we haven't even stepped foot in the building. So, our first segment today is about the backstory and importance of Patriots Day. The holiday we know as Patriots Day has become a Massachusetts staple for multiple reasons. On the third Monday of April, Boston is always bustling with citizens watching the Boston Marathon, the Red Sox at Fenway, and maybe even reflecting on the city's illustrious history. As this is one of the weirdest Patriots Days of all time, with our city stuck at home, it seems like the perfect time to learn how this day was formed. In the most simple terms, Patriots Day commemorates the battles of Lexington and Concord, which were fought near Boston in 1775. On April 19th, 1775, the American Revolution was in its early stages. One of the biggest battles of the war was in the town of Menominee, now Arlington, Massachusetts. Menominee was on the Concord Road between Lexington and Concord at Boston. While the fighting was going on in Lexington and Concord, 5,100 militiamen arrived in Menominee from neighboring counties. Knowing that the British troops were going to retreat to Boston, these militiamen took up the positions along the road that the British would take. They placed themselves in and around houses, stone walls, fields, and barns. The bloodiest fighting of the first day of the American Revolution took place inside of a single home, the Jason Russell House in Menominee. 11 militiamen died in this house fighting British troops trained in bayonet fighting. Patriots Day, April 19th, also marks the first deaths of the American Civil War in the Baltimore riot of 1861, which 4 members of the Massachusetts militia were murdered and 36 were injured. Therefore, Patriots Day commemorates the 25 dead militiamen, 40 dead British soldiers, and 4 members of the Massachusetts militia whose deaths helped spark the Civil War. Now that we are fully educated, time for some fun facts. Firstly, the holiday was originally held on April 19th, but was changed in 1969 to be in the third Monday of every April. This has, of course, lasted 51 years with little complaints. Don't worry, the facts will get better than this. Secondly, the holiday is also celebrated just as much in Maine because it used to be part of Massachusetts. They were separated during the Missouri Compromise in 1820, which didn't stop Maine. On a side note, Patriots Day is also celebrated in North Dakota, Connecticut, Wisconsin, and Florida. Thirdly, you may wonder how the day got its name. In 1894, the Lexington Historical Society petitioned the Massachusetts state legislature to proclaim April 19th as Lexington Day. Concord countered with Concord Day. When you say it out loud, it makes these two sound very egotistical. However, Governor Frederick T. Greenhalgh opted for a compromise, Patriots Day. Lastly, this may surprise you, but Patriots Day really has no connection to the Boston Marathon bombing of 2013. There is a separate holiday on April 15th called Boston Day, the same date in 2013 when the marathon bombing took place. Unfortunately, many people confuse Patriots and Boston Day, probably because of Mark Wahlberg, but it's hard to say. Still, it's nice to have separate days at the same time of the year to remember the start of the American Revolution and the Boston Marathon bombing, 2 of the worst atrocities the city has ever faced. It should also not be confused with Patriot Day, held on September 11th to mark the anniversary of the terrorist attacks in 2001. We may be quarantined on this Boston Day and Patriots Day, while we should be at the Commons watching the marathon, but that doesn't mean we can't come together as a community to remember what this city means to us and commemorate the lives lost in the battles of Lexington and Concord, and more recently the Boston Marathon. And when I say come together, I of course mean figuratively, don't actually go near anybody. This is Matt Messina, back to you in the studio. While we're in quarantine, video games have been a very good escape for some people. Nick Chaffee is here to tell us the best games to play during our coronacation.
Hello! Video games. A hobby that around 50 people in Holbrook actually do. So today, I only having around 10 games in my Steam library on my computer. I'm going to be suggesting to you guys what games you can play during quarantine. Why? I don't know, I was assigned it, I guess.
So, you're bored, and I'm here to save you. Why? Because I'm going to be talking about video games for the next... I don't know how long I'm going to be talking for. So, let's begin. First, let's start with the classic Minecraft. Minecraft is an open world sandbox game where you can literally create anything. A house, a roller coaster, Cookie Monster, yeah, you get the idea. Second, Terraria or Terraria. This is basically a 2D Minecraft for the uneducated people who don't actually play the game, and it's kind of sorta significantly harder compared to Minecraft. Bosses, crazy items, the gang's all here. Third, Destiny 2, or as my friends like to call it, a dead game. Destiny 2 is basically an FPS that is emphasized on loot, a looter game, I guess. Basically, get the best loot to do the most. Pretty simple. There are many puzzles and cooperative activities, so this is good for people with friends. But if you don't, Xbox and PC have great grouping services. PS4, I don't really know about. By the way, those grouping services that are on Xbox and PC and maybe PS4, those apply to every single game that I have on the list. Next, Overwatch. It's a competitive 6v6 FPS that basically takes out the S and adds a question mark. Crazy heroes from all backgrounds with crazy powers and abilities makes this one of the biggest esports out there. And a fun night to be had with friends if you want to get mad at them. Call of Duty. I've never played a COD, so just play Modern Warfare or Black Ops 2. Next, Undertale. Basically, it's an RPG you can replay at least 8 times before you get bored of it. Find a different ending, and yeah. Oh, and by the way, there's Sans. Time for Nintendo. Haha. Mario Odyssey is a 3D Mario platformer that takes it up from 10 to 11. Great location, story, concepts, it's all here really. Granted, I've never played it, but I'm meaning to. Mario Kart. This is the party game for when you are actually feeling like leaving your room and wanting to spend time with your family for around 30 minutes. Get mad with the spiny shells? It's a perfect night, trust me. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Open world Zelda game, 99 out of 100 on Metacritic. Hardcore Zelda game. It'll keep you occupied if you're really feeling it. Animal Crossing. Go on TikTok for 10 minutes with hashtag Animal Crossing or listening to this sound. That's how much people like the game. For those of you who don't know what Animal Crossing is, it's basically a game where you develop a town of animals. I've never played it before, add it to the pile. Sims 4, ho-ho, another game I've never played before. Sims 4, create a house for your sim, and let them live their best life as you can possibly give them. And on the topic of simulation games, we have City Skylines. City Skylines is for those who want to create a city from their computer or console, I guess. This game is a bit hard to understand with all the systems going on, but if you master it, you really feel in control. Traffic, garbage, education, zoning, roads, public transit, it's a lot of stuff. For mobile, Color by Number is simply a game to play when you have decided to stare at your ceiling for the next 3 hours. You paint pixels with your finger to create an 8-bit image. Woohoo! Next. Geometry Dash is for 6-year-old rage monsters like myself. Basically, a square jumps over triangles until it doesn't, and it's actually just rhombuses. This is a horrible joke. Finally, Uno. Uno can get pretty crazy, having over 20 cards per person at times, and at that point it warrants you having to have a snack beside you while you play and a gallon of water on the ground.
Well, hey, why don't you look at that? The lighting's still trash. So yeah, that was the list. Probably not the best list in the world, but hey, at least it's something, right? Video games are fun, and they can solve boredom. So maybe taking those games, looking for recommendations similar to those, maybe you'll find something that interests you. So in conclusion, what I'm getting at here is I have a gaming addiction. I spent 107 hours in Destiny 2 2 weeks ago. This is kind of an issue.
If you've been consistently watching the news for the past month, you may have been getting a little depressed. Well, we have a little bit happier of a story. For this past month, the firefighters have been recording themselves reading bedtime stories and posting them on Facebook for children to watch. And now Katori has more on the entire situation.
As we all have been sitting bored at home, on our phones making TikToks, watching Netflix, and reading memes, the Holbrook Firefighters has taken their time to read bedtime stories to the little ones, to bring in some light and joy as we push through this pandemic. Firefighter and paramedic Jared Murphy, who was the first of the Holbrook Firefighters to start reading bedtime stories, says that he got the idea from his wife, who has been watching videos of Florida firefighters doing that. As Murphy posted a video of himself on Facebook reading Going to the Firehouse by Mercer Mayer, he received plenty of good reviews from people in town. So far, he has encouraged many firefighters, just like himself, to read bedtime stories to the little ones, like Dale Campbell, Matt Gray, and the firefighter chief Luke McFadden. Murphy hopes to continue reading bedtime stories as long as the kids are out of school. If you would like to view videos of Holbrook Firefighters reading bedtime stories, you may visit their Facebook page, Holbrook Firefighters IAFF Local 1452. This has been Katori Nicholas from Copeland News.
The end. Thank you.
Apple recently announced the iPhone SE, which is more of a budget iPhone 11. Dominic's here with more.
It's iPhone season again, and whether you're someone who's stuffing an 11 Pro Max into your pocket or you're like me and trying to get whatever's left out of your success, there's always that omnipresent question whenever a new iPhone is released. Is it time for me to upgrade? The new iPhone SE comes in at $399, notably more affordable than the iPhone 11, 11 Pro, and Pro Max, which are $699, $999, and $1099 respectively. This phone is the most affordable iPhone, taking that crown from the 11. So, to keep things straightforward, I'm going to pit these two phones against each other and see which one comes out on top. This new iPhone carries the impressive A13 Bionic chip, which can be found in the iPhone 11 and 11 Pro. Because of this, the iPhone SE is essentially an iPhone 11 and an iPhone 8 body. Both phones have beautiful LCD Retina displays. The difference between the two is negligible, except for the size. While the SE matches the 11 in resolution, it doesn't match the 6.1-inch display. The new SE, coming in the iPhone 8 skin, includes bezels and a home button. With the home button comes Touch ID. This comes down to personal preference, but if you prefer unlocking your phone with your face, the 11 does use Face ID. While the iPhone SE's camera is nothing to turn your nose up at, it doesn't beat the iPhone 11's dual camera system, which features night mode, better focusing, and a 2x optical zoom. When it comes to charging, both phones support wireless charging, as well as wired charging with a Lightning connector. Neither phones support USB-C, an arguably more advantageous connector found in the iPad Pro, and most other smartphones. Specifics on the iPhone SE's battery life are still ambiguous, but it will likely be the same as the iPhone 8, giving you about 13 hours of video playback and 40 hours of audio. In comparison, the iPhone 11 promises 17 hours of video playback and 65 hours of audio playback. While the iPhone 11 does have the better camera, battery, and the larger display, the iPhone SE comes equipped with the same chip and a price tag that's $300 cheaper. Considering the comparable displays and performance, it's hard to argue that the additional camera features and extended battery life justify spending almost twice the amount of money. If you're looking for a budget iPhone, the SE is probably your best option. This has been Dominic Costa with Cold Blue News. Back to you.
As many of you know, the rest of the school year has been canceled for all Massachusetts schools, so HMH has decided to do a virtual Spirit Week. Every day is a different event, and we're going to start with Monday, which is HMHS We Are All Patriots, to celebrate Patriots Day.
Normally, the third week in April marks a well-needed April break for students. With the current situation of remote learning, HMHS decided that there will not be a break and students will continue to learn. To make up for it, students were asked to participate in a virtual Spirit Week. Although classes were paused on Monday, Virtual Spirit Week still commenced. Students were asked to participate by adding their post to the hashtag HMHS We Are All Patriots, in honor of Patriots Day, the day that Boston normally sports its annual marathon, which was postponed due to the ongoing pandemic. It was the hope that people would post their photos showing their pride, whether it was supporting the marathon or the Boston Red Sox, who normally play a midday home game on the day of this celebration. The start of Spirit Week was quite a showing for the teachers. Pride was shown left and right by the staff of Holbrook Middle High School. For the students, there was a lot less participation. Teachers really got into the first day of the week, showing their Sox pride or how they took advantage of the weather and got out for a run. It was only a few students who showed their involvement in the activity. Spirit Weeks are normally a big deal for Holbrook. If Homecoming Week teaches anything, it's that the excitement only builds as the day goes by. We can only hope that that proves the same, with Bob Ross Tutorial Tuesday coming up next to hopefully get the ball rolling for the rest of the week. This has been Caroline Duggan with Code Blue News, signing off.
And 2 days later, Wednesday's event was Walk Your Dog Wednesday, which is pretty self-explanatory, actually.
Yesterday, for our virtual Spirit Week, HMHS hosted a Walk Your Dog Wednesday, which did not only feature dogs, but it also featured cats and stuffed animal dogs, which shows how you can show school spirit even if you do not have a dog during this event. Let's take a look at some of the posters. Wow, maybe I should have taken my dog for a walk. Well, too bad, he likes to sleep too much. This has been Victoria Nicholas at Code Blue News.
And the day after that, we have Classy Thursday, which is when you have to dress your best. As you can see, I did not really celebrate that one.
Hey guys, it's Victoria Nicholas with another segment. Wait, I think I'm forgetting something. Oh, that's right, my Classy Thursday outfit. In light of HMHS's Classy Thursday, many students have sent in photos and throwbacks. Let's take a look.
talk about the trip without talking about me. Show me. Oh. You see this? Get trip. Contact me.
This has been Katorian Nicholas from Copley News.
On that same day, there was the Team Trivia Challenge. Vincent has more.
On Wednesday, April 22nd, Holbrook Middle High School held their second online event for Virtual Spirit Week, an online trivia competition. Let's see how it went.
I'm going to share the screen with you, and then you would play on your phone, okay? So the questions will show up on your computer, and you will have, the ability to answer the questions on your cell phone. That make sense?
I'm gonna play.
I'm the only one that knows all the answers, I think. So,
Hang on, do I still have the Kahoot app?
40 questions. Are you ready?
What?
Wait, he did paintings, didn't he?
That's from Big.
That's so dumb. Who said Da Vinci, though?
Kylie. What type of figurative language is this?
What? I saw it. I thought it was gonna be
closely.
That was a metaphor.
As you can see, the trivia was concerning at best, but it still seemed to be tons of fun. Let's see what the students thought about the event.
I liked the Trivia Tuesday event because it was fun to see my friends and have competition with them. Also, I thought Miss Gallagher did a good job making all the questions super random like regular trivia.
Personally, I believe the trivia was really fun. We simply just started off by making conversation, and I enjoy talking to my teachers that I've had this year and ones that I've had in the past after not seeing them all for a while. I think there was 2 freshmen, 2 or 3 juniors, and 1 senior attended. So the participation wasn't great, but the teachers definitely made it not awkward and made it a good time.
I would definitely do something like this again. I thought it was well put together and fun, but challenging at the same time.
Overall, I really loved the trivia contest and felt it was a perfect way to get involved while we're at home with all this coronavirus stuff going on right now. And I would also do something like this in the future again, definitely.
Overall, it seemed to be an enjoyable experience for all who participated. I hope you guys continue to show your school spirit throughout the rest of the week. This has been Vincent Tran with Kobu News.
And for the main event today, me, Caleb, and Caroline are here to report on all Massachusetts schools getting canceled for the rest of the year. As many have speculated for the past month, all Massachusetts schools have shut their doors for the remainder of the year. On Monday, the Massachusetts Teachers Association criticized Governor Charlie Baker for the lack of response and if schools will return before summer. On Tuesday, Baker ordered schools to stay closed until June 29th, which is the entire year unless you're in a daycare service. Governor Baker added this by saying, "At this point in time, there is no authoritative guidance or advisories with respect to how to operate schools safely and how to get kids to and from school safely. We believe students, therefore, cannot safely return to school and avoid the risk of transmitting this virus to others. As inevitable as it may have seemed, many students and teachers still don't know how to respond."
My initial reaction when I heard the news was I honestly wasn't surprised. I was kind of anticipating this, but at the same time, I was still holding out that small inkling of hope that we would actually get to go back in some capacity. But once I heard it, I had kind of already accepted it, but I'm still super bummed about it. I really wanted to go back and see everybody.
When the school originally closed, I did not expect that this was going to be the result. I had heard some buzz about it on the news, but I really wasn't as informed as probably I should have been. So when it originally closed, I did think that maybe we'd be out 2 weeks and just kind of keep the social distancing. I did not realize, that we would be waiting for some sort of a cure or a treatment for the vaccine or anything like that. So when school originally closed, I did not think that this would be the result.
So when schools originally closed for 2 weeks, I definitely did not anticipate it being like this, like closing for the rest of the year. I did not anticipate that at all. But the longer schools remained closed, the more I started to think that we probably would be closed for the whole year. So the news today It did not come as a shock, but it was not really easy to hear because it made me really sad because I'm not going to see you guys for the rest of the year.
It's apparent that nobody planned for this outbreak, and we have all been living our lives accordingly. Our schedules, relationships, and opinions seem to change every day under these conditions. However, this era is nothing short of historic. This is one of the most unique eras in modern history, so don't hesitate to write down your feelings. There will be a day when your grandchildren ask you, how the heck did you live through that?
I want my students to know that I miss them. I truly love them all. And it makes me sad that I don't get to see them again before the end of the school year. We didn't get to finish out together. So I miss you guys. I love you guys. And, just, keep reaching out to me because I love hearing from them.
But the biggest thing is just know that you can reach out if you need to. Know that I'm here. I'm thinking about you guys every single day. I miss you guys, and I'm doing everything that I can to come up with lessons and things to do online that aren't terrible.
I would like to send a message to my students and all the students of Holbrook Middle High School to really take care of yourself. So I think the first week or two, it might have felt awesome to sleep late and watch a lot of TV, maybe, eat all the snacks that were brought home. But I think it's going to be really important moving forward to make sure that you're taking care of yourself, like your mental, your health, making sure that you're building connections with people like Zoom meetings or FaceTiming people, making sure that you're going for walks, that you're really taking care of yourself. Reaching out to teachers or staff if something's not going right at home, if you're just not really feeling that great. I would love to hear from anybody, so please reach out to me if something like that's happening, or even if it's not and you want to talk. I think the most important thing right now is to make sure that you're taking care of yourself and that you're trying to build a routine so that this new norm is something that we're going to get out of, and we're going to come strong, and we're taking care of ourselves.
So while there are many downsides to being quarantined, remember that one day you could be a primary source in a history book. This has been Matthew Messina. Back to you in the studio. This has been Code Blue News from home. We're going to continue to be doing these things no matter how long it takes, because we're going to be primary sources one day. We're essential workers. We're the media. And we'll see you all next time. Thanks for watching.